Today is our 13th weekend and it is our 25th class in quantum psychotherapy. And our topic today is quantum principles of assertive and effective communication. How deeper could quantum communication be than traditional, classical, physical communication? Physical communication is the mechanics of the surface, the words we choose, the text we send, and the physical gestures we make. On the other hand, energetic communication operates at a deeper, implicit layer of reality. Traditional physical communication is strictly linear and local. And you speak, the sound wave travels, and the listener hears it at a fraction of a second later. And these methods are limited by time, they are limited by distance, and they are limited by sensory organs. In contrast, an energetic communication treats people not as isolated senders and receivers, but as an overlapping quantum field that permeates all space. All particles are simply excitations of these fields. So rather than waiting for a word to travel across a room or across a hall, if we model human interaction through an energetic or quantum framework, communication shifts from an exchange of physical signals to an immediate interconnected resonance. What does this mean? When we connect to others through shared presence, we communicate through direct resonance, and we see that we are not isolated. We communicate through our aura. That bioelectromagnetic field that is generated by our heart and nervous system and acts as an invisible broadcast system. And so we do not just communicate with words. We communicate through the structured coherence or chaos of this energetic field known as our aura. And this field is not static. It changes based on our internal emotional states and our thoughts. And the quality of our aura is determined by its coherence. How synchronized and orderly the energetic waves are. So when we experience frustration, when we experience anger and anxiety or judgment, our heart rhythms become erratic and jagged. And this produces an incoherent field in our aura. And other people's nervous systems subconsciously pick up this dissonance. And they might feel inexplicably guarded or tense or drained when they are around us, reacting to the invisible chaos of our field rather than the physical words we have spoken. So when we intentionally activate positive emotions like appreciation, like compassion, love, or calm, or tranquility, Our heart rhythm pattern smooth out into a harmonic wave, and this creates a coherent auric field. And this form of communication operates like a biological Wi-Fi. And our auras act as transceivers, constantly sending out our current state of coherence and scanning the coherences of the fields around us. So true communication is an act of energetic alignment. And all communications are energy. We are constantly communicating and interacting through our energy, through what we hold in our aura. And this can be precisely defined as quantum assertiveness communication. So traditional communication that we've all been used to up to this time relies on classical physical tools. It relies on your words, on your body language, and on your boundary setting. However, quantum assertiveness shifts the focus from what you do on the surface to who you are at the level of state, of frequency, and field coherence. I love this. So quantum assertiveness communications is the practice of holding your energetic ground so purely that your presence establishes boundaries and command before you even open your mouth. Wouldn't that be beautiful? So quantum assertiveness communication means awareness of what we are communicating and consciously transmuting negative information in our aura to communicate pure energy. Quantum assertiveness communication reaches its absolute peak when we operate from our 0 point coherence signature. And your 0 point coherence signature is your state of unshakable stillness that is empty of reactive trauma, yet fully charged with presence, operating from that void, operating from that, operating from that emptiness, from that nothingness that is full of everything. And your 0 point signature occurs when your mind, your heart, and your body are completely aligned in the present now moment that is so powerful, so magical, and so mysterious and miraculous at the same time. So when we are 100% present in the now, our aura has no energetic leaks. We are not leaking energy. We are not depleting energy. We are keeping 100% of the energy that we need to focus where we need to put and focus our attention. And remember, where attention goes, energy flows, and amplification of that you are focusing on happens. So a coherent 0 point signature aura entrains everything around it, bringing order, bringing transformation, and bringing healing. So spontaneous healing through resonance, stress, sickness, and emotional trauma are at the physical level states of cellular and electromagnetic incoherence. When a person with a fragmented aura steps into your 0 point field, whether you are a therapist or a medical practitioner or a teacher or simply a parent or a congregational leader, their nervous system registers the profound safety of your order. And their systematic nervous system that might be in flight or fight disarms, allowing their parasympathetic system of rest and repair to activate. And your presence literally creates the energetic space required for this person's body and mind to heal itself. So by introducing our unshakable zone of perfect order, it forces the chaotic, disordered frequencies within our immediate environment to organize themselves. So when we treat 0 point as a way of life, it becomes the very baseline from which we operate. Is that where you are? We stop trying to get there. We stop wondering whether we are in the 0 point or not. And we start realizing that we are already that 0 point space in which everything else happens. And we see the interconnectedness of everything that we think, say, or do with how the deep inner world isn't just a quiet escape, but the actual fuel for how we, as energetic fields, speak, work, and move in a physical world. So 0 point is the constant realization that we are the vast neutral space in which all of life's noise, emotions, tasks, and conflicts occur without owning us. So when we communicate from the 0 point void state, we move beyond the ego into a more conscious, results-oriented exchange. And when we treat spirituality and daily communication as a unified field, life stops being a struggle and we start becoming a symphony. We move from doing life to flowing with life. And we maintain a high frequency boundary when others try to pull us into their chaos and their drama. So when we link our internal state, that 0 point, and external expression or quantum communication, we treat 0 point as our foundation and quantum communication as our tool. And we aren't just navigating the world, we are consciously informing the world from the source, from pure potentiality. And we have moved from being a person in the chaos to being that stillness that chaos can't penetrate. It's a powerful transition to stop and visit the silence and start living as the silence. Watching the internal stillness or the 0 point and meeting the external precision of quantum communication is where spirituality becomes a high performance tool for living. And 0 point is our home base. And quantum communication is the broadcast that we ooze out through our aura to everything in our immediate environment. And for some, it goes even further to miles and thousands of miles away. So we aren't just thinking of what to say, we are speaking from silence. And when 0 point becomes our way of life, we are already home within. We are training perception to recognize that infinite awareness that's always been there all along. We are the 0 point field, and the 0 point field is us. We are not separate from the 0 point field. When we get into meditation and start wondering, am I in the field already or am I outside of it? We are acting out of the paradigm of separation. Just breathe and let yourself dive into the 0 point field. The vibrational frequencies of the inner calibration of our intentions, our thoughts and emotions and words are received by every cell in our body, that intracommunication, and our aura through which they are emitted to every other person and into the unified field that reflects it back to us, and that is intercommunication. So right now, ask yourself this question. What energetic signature is imprinted in your aura right now that you are communicating to everybody you meet, to everything in your immediate environment, to the water that is in the tap that you are going to shower this evening, to the saucepans and furniture in your home, to the appliances that you are using, because whatever it is that is in your aura is transmitted to everything within you and around you. So does your aura signature have the 0 point energy key with which the doors of the field are open to you, so that you can have your intentions and prayers answered? So, quantum assertive and effective communication is a high-level interpersonal skill where we express our needs and boundaries clearly while remaining in a state of 0 point field internal neutrality and authenticity. And quantum communication focuses on our vibrational state and the space between us and the listener. Quantum assertiveness is a high-frequency communication style that operates from the 0 point state of internal coherence. So unlike traditional assertiveness, which focuses on balancing our needs with others through specific verbal formulas, quantum assertiveness focuses on our vibrational state and the ability to hold multiple possibilities simultaneously without being pulled into any emotional drama. Isn't that beautiful? So now let us look at the dynamics of quantum assertiveness communication. When we speak to another, the information and energy in our chakras and auric fields are communicating. Our chakras, which are energy centers, and the 7 layers of our aura are interacting with each other. The emotional layer that holds emotions, the mental layer that holds beliefs and thoughts, and the astral layer that holds memories communicate from one person to another through morphic fields. And morphic fields are invisible energy fields that record all mental activities of our perception, our thoughts, our emotions, our words, and they retain their memory, influencing how things in the world take shape and behave. This might be a new term for you, but all you need to know right now that your aura connects to those morphic fields that store those memories, not only your own memories from your past years, but also for generations. And these fields are shaped by past patterns. And they carry and they reinforce patterns and actions and thoughts and memories within entangled collective minds of others. And this means past generations of humans or a group of people in one location may influence the experience and actions and performance of future generations and people in another location. So once a pattern is established, that behavior pattern, once it is established, it becomes more accessible. And these morphic fields facilitates its learning. Right now, I might be behaving like my great-grand-grand-grandmother unknowingly through these morphic fields. So morphic fields shaped by past patterns influence how future forms and behaviors manifest and repeat similar to patterns. And these similar patterns arise and are maintained. When a new form or behavior appears, it creates a pattern in the morphic fields. Right now, how you have been acting and behaving for the past 3 weeks has created a pattern in the morphic field beyond your aura that your nephew that is in your brother's wife's womb right now will get to attach to and will behave exactly the way you are behaving right now. So when that form of behavior happens again, it resonates with the existing pattern in the field of your great-grandfather, reinforcing it. So resonance makes patterns more ingrained, more likely to reoccur in the future. So if the morphic fields contains patterns and information beyond the scope of our immediate surrounding, of our minds, is it possible that our minds might be able to access this information, giving rise to flashes of intuition, insights, or that deeper inner knowing that what someone else will say, we will get to know? So it's like tapping into a vast reservoir of information that is available to us through this morphic field. So if our minds are connected through morphic fields, what does this mean for humanity? And how and what we are communicating? This interconnectedness influences our shared experiences through the collective consciousness. Dr. Rupert Sheldrake's theory of morphic fields posits that as more and more individuals experience certain thoughts, feelings, or behavior, these patterns reinforce themselves in the morphic field, becoming stronger over time. And this creates a shared influence, a shared field of influence as we communicate with others, that kind of collective memory that is available to all and everybody. So it's as if the collective experience of humanity are all recorded and become available through the morphic resonance, shaping and influencing our present moment. So does this mean that we have to be very, very much aware? Do we need to increase our awareness for every word we say, for every thought that we think, for every behavior or action that we do? And how often we do it, because it will get ingrained into our aura and into our morphic field that carries all those memories. So with every breath that we breathe in, we are taking in light. But with every breath that we are breathing out, what are we breathing out into the cosmos through our aura? Are we breathing out light through our morphic field, or are we breathing out more shadow? So how is it that you will behave like your ancestor? How is it that you will experience the same emotions that they experienced? How is it that you are going to think thoughts they used to think? Our collective experiences can influence the world around us. And you can see this during global events. Those moments of shared joy, or those moments of shared sorrow, or even tragedy, as if the world itself is reacting to our collective thoughts and feelings and responding to the wars and the wildfires and earthquakes and economic struggles. Have you ever wondered how it's possible that people in completely different parts of the world, with no contact with each other, seem to come up with similar ideas, similar insights, similar inventions almost at the same time? Right now, you might be working on a project that you have hacked from your deep unconscious and subconscious. But don't be surprised, the very same idea to have existed 3,000 years before you were born. So it is as if we are all tuning into the same radio frequency, drawing from a shared pool of knowledge, a collective field of information that is shaped and maintained through the collective resonance of all human experiences and all human zero-point field auras. And this shared field through the morphic fields might be the secret force that shapes our cultures, the way we see the world, creating a deep sense of shared humanity. We are all connected and capable of positively influencing each other. So, as we meet a person, we communicate non-verbally through our morphic fields. What patterns, thoughts, beliefs, and behavior and emotions do we infiltrate their aura with as we connect energetically, our auras saluting each other? Besides communicating non-verbally through morphic fields, we communicate verbally, especially through the vowels, through another set of fields known as the toroidal fields and the scalar waves. So we have seen morphic waves, which have to do with patterns and behaviors. Now we are going to be looking at toroidal fields and scalar waves that broadcast what we say, especially the vowels. A, E, O, U. So vowels are the tools by which we shape toroidal fields. So these toroidal fields and scalar waves are also like morphic fields, but they focus on the vowels, the sounds of the vowels of the words that we say. So vowels are the tools by which we shape toroidal fields that broadcast information through scalar waves and harmonize our aura with the zero-point field. The zero-point field is the sea of infinite energy. So when toroidal fields of a vowel sound become coherent, this creates a bridge. It creates a portal to the zero-point field. So when we chant, when we are toning specific vowels, we can tap into this zero-point field, that infinite energy reservoir. And this is coherent communication. Aligning aura, the microtorus, with the zero-point field, the macrotorus, via the scalar bridge created by vowels. You as the speaker, you become a conscious conduit for universal energy with the way you are pronouncing your vowels. A, E, O, U. So toroidal fields act through scalar waves because unlike traditional electromagnetic waves, scalar waves are nonlinear and they do not decay over distance and they lack polarity and they lack polarity and flow direction, and they travel faster than the speed of light to permeate all creation instantaneously. That is why your R, A, E, O, U can be heard thousands of miles away by a keen ear. So this allows thoughts and words to shape our reality immediately. For those interested in manifesting, how will you use the vowels in your words to have instantaneously your prayers answered or your intentions heard? So when sound is broadcasted through our voice, it transforms into scalar waves, connecting thoughts and intentions directly to the field and affecting our reality. So communicating vowel sounds, we tune our aura. Speech is an act of becoming influencers, shaping the energetic architecture in our aura. And vowels are steering wheels of our aura's frequency, and they are pure tones produced without obstruction of teeth or lips, and they carry a high harmonic resonance. When you say A, E, O, U, there is no obstruction of your teeth or lips. This is what makes those vowels very, very magnetic. And they vibrate the chakras in our aura, allowing us to clear blockages or expand our field. So scalar waves are carriers of consciousness embedded in that vowel sound. A, E, O, U. And while standard sound waves travel through air and dissipate, the intent behind the sound generated by scalar waves is much more powerful. So toning a vowel sound with a specific intent, and you carry that particular intent, whether it is your dream home or a successful career, creates a phase conjugate relationship that collapses into a scalar wave, allowing the vibration of the vowel to transcend space and time, affecting cellular biology or collective consciousness globally, instantaneously. Now let us look deeply into each vowel sound. Each vowel sound is associated with a specific toroidal field signature that reflects its resonance and effect on the aura. Let's begin with ah. Ah. It creates wide, expansive, stabilizing torus, and focus area is on the heart. And the A, creates a focused, narrow balancing, high frequency, vertical, narrow, and elongated torus, and radiates with focused intensity, focusing towards the head and crown area. And it is associated with mental clarity and spiritual connection. Let's go through it again so that we understand it very well. The creates the wide, expansive, stabilizing torus, and focus area is on the heart. The A creates a focused, narrow, balancing, high-pitched frequency torus and a spiraling motion, and the area of focus is the throat. And the E creates a high-frequency, vertical, narrow, elongated torus and radiates with focused intensity, focusing energy towards the head and the crown. And it is associated with mental clarity, spiritual connection. Then we get to the O. The O generates a deep resonant balanced torus that is circular, oscillating motion that loops back upon itself. And the focus area is the solar plexus for our personal power. And this shape is a perfect sphere or a wide circular spiraling radiating from the solar plexus. And it supports emotional stability, creativity, and a sense of wholeness or completion. And then finally, the ooh produces a low frequency grounding, consolidation, concentration, downward heavy torus, over constricting motion, and the focus area is in the pelvis, in the root chakra. And this field is weighed towards the base, and it is moving energy downward, outward from the pelvic area. And it is associated with physical security, rootedness, groundedness, and the foundational aspects of the aura. And these fields bridge the physical body and the subtle energy bodies. So, are you aware that with every R, A, E, O, U, that you use either in your prayer or in your meditation, you are creating toroidal fields that are going to transmit that frequency through the scalar waves to reach every area. If it is everything that you need to heal in your cells, it will deepen into the inner part of the cell that needs to be healing and recalibrated. Now let us dive deep into the quantum principles of assertive and effective communication. When we are communicating from the 0-point field, where our words are weighted with authority of the void, making them incredibly effective without being aggressive. So the pillars of communication from the 0-point field are about 8 or 9 or 10. And the first one is neutrality. And neutrality, that 0-point state, is when we speak from a place of no body, no thing, no time. So by removing our personal drama and story from the message, the other person who is receiving our message is less likely to feel attacked or become defensive. The second pillar is I statements as frequency owners, using I instead of you. I feel frustrated when this and this happens, instead of you frustrate me. The third pillar is quantum superposition. We can hold multiple states at once, such as feeling your own need while simultaneously being fully open to the other person's perspective. The fourth pillar is superposition of perspective, where you hold your own needs and the other person's reality as equally valid truths at the same time. You don't choose sides or enter a win-loss mindset. The fifth pillar is frequency dominance. Physics shows that a stronger, more stable frequency will pull a chaotic one into harmony. If someone is shouting or frantic, don't match their wave. Stay in your 0 point stillness. Your calm becomes the dominant frequency, and the other person will either subconsciously calm down to match you or feel sort of out of sync, and they are forced to live all on them by themselves. The sixth pillar is that void gap principle, the strategic pause. Nature hates a vacuum, and so does our ego. That silence in the 0 point field, the ego does not like it at all. Because when you are acting from your 0 point place, the ego is disarmed. And it forces everything in your immediate environment to entrain and confront their own energy without you providing a distraction. You don't have to say anything. Your energy, your 0 point field does everything. And the power of that pause, the power of that stillness is what makes things change. The seventh pillar is observer neutrality. Observer neutrality. Are you aware that the way you see a situation or a person is the outcome you will get? If you have a disobedient child and you would prefer to see them as a harmonious child, focus on that harmonious outcome. And that is what is going to come out. You don't have to talk to them with words and saying, behave yourself. Stay in your 0 point and let the 0 point do everything for you. The eighth pillar is energetic sovereignty. When we maintain our 0 point frequency, regardless of the other person's behavior, if they get aggressive, you do not need to drop your frequency to match theirs. Instead, your stable, calm state can entrain them to be more at that peaceful level. The ninth pillar is non-attachment. Traditional assertiveness often pushes for a specific result, which creates either resistance or friction. Quantum assertiveness from the 0 point field. We don't have to fix. We just be, and everything falls into place around us. The 10th and last principle is the principle of the I am. When we get into that void is a place of nothingness, that is full of everything, and that is source. And source means spirit or the omnipotent or the omniscient himself. So as we get towards the end of this presentation, let us end with quantum communication in a family, in a community, in a congregation, or in an organization. How can we practice quantum assertiveness communication in where we stay or where we work? So this art of holding the 0 point, your inner silence, while people who know your old self try to pull you into their own drama. Here is how you can apply the principles we've just seen to real world scenarios, either at the place of your work or where you stay and reside. And the first one, let us look at the family guilt trip. And let us look at this particular scenario. Your parent or your siblings says, "You never come around anymore. You have changed, and it is hurting the family." If you were acting from your old reactivity, you would get defensive, explaining why you are busy, or you'd be feeling guilty. But when you take it from the quantum communication assertiveness scale, your quantum response will be, "I hear that you miss me and feel hurt. My current focus requires more of my time, so I won't be able to be there this Sunday at the family dinner, but I will be happy to catch up on the next event of the family next week when I'm available." So what is the 0 point link that you have just made? You have not argued with their heart. You have witnessed their heart, their pain, and you have seen their pain as their weather pattern, because weather patterns come and go. And you have remained in your neutral void that does not you have remained in your neutral void, that silent space that does not bend to others' people's emotional gravity or emotional drama. And how have you done this? Because when you remain in this neutral void, you stop trying to fix. So you are no longer interested in fixing their emotion, and you are no longer interested in defending your character. So you simply acknowledge the data of their feelings and the weather they are in without letting it pull you out of your coherent center. So instead of arguing with their pain, you simply name it, and this shows you are present, not hooked by their drama. I hear that you are feeling hurt and disappointed right now. You aren't saying or telling them, "I hurt you, I'm guilty." You are simply saying, that hurt is present as an observation, but it's not who you are, and it's not who you are. So you are not that guilt, and they are not that hurt or that pain. So once you acknowledge their weather condition, Your state, your 0 point field is perfectly stated as your reality, as that unshakable stillness. For example, you might say, my current path requires me to focus elsewhere, so I won't be attending the event. I understand this isn't what you hoped for. So when you say that, you are not asking for permission. You are stating a quantum reality. Their gravity, their guilt, their pain has nothing to latch onto because you aren't apologizing for your absence. If they try to pull you back in by saying, but don't you care about us anymore? How are you going to respond to that? You can say, I care about our relationship, and I'm also holding to my decision. I am happy to talk about a different topic, or I am happy to catch up with you next Sunday when I'm available. And when you say that, you are entraining them and you are matching your coherent signatures to theirs, and there is harmony between your aura and their aura. So if this has been helpful, are you going to practice using silence as a shield? Because when you are nothing, when you are in that nothingness, in that void, in that emptiness, that is a place of the greatest potential that is full of everything. And in that place, there is no ego for their words to latch onto. And you become like a clear window, and the stones that are thrown at you simply pass through without breaking anything. So the question I am leaving you today, in your family, in your congregation, in your community, in your neighborhood, at your place of work, which scenario feels most familiar to your current life? Have you been letting the guilt trip swallow you, or the direct attack break your glass? Or have you been led to drain your energy? Thank you for listening to me this afternoon. I wish you a happy evening. Thank you, and thank you.